All right, we are excited to have our next partner highlighted here as part of our partner webinar series. We've got Cameron Ritter from Upswell. Cameron, how's it going, man?
Good. How are you, man?
I'm doing good. I'm just jealous that you're sitting there at Upswell headquarters. It looks like a powerful the center of strategy and world economics or something going on there. You got the globe. What's that? What's that behind your left shoulder? Is that like a
Yeah, that's actually my great great grandma's Victrola from the early 1900s, like when they first came out.
Is
So
so that's like to play music, right? Like play a.
yeah, and it actually was broken when I got it, and I fixed it.
Oh, right on, man.
So yeah, we got records for it, and it actually works now.
That's so cool. That's awesome.
Yeah,
And I guess to share with everyone where are you out of again? Are you
yeah,
in?
we're based in Atlanta, Georgia.
That's right.
Yeah,
And you're out of Atlanta too, right?
that's correct. Yeah, most of our company is in Atlanta. We actually own we've recently purchased a company in Utah. Funny enough, they're a dental marketing, um,
That's right.
yeah, marketing company, and then we've also purchased another company in Virginia, that was Teradel, and I think they still are Teradel. So yeah, now we're just keep expanding.
Nice. So Upswell's on the up and up all the time.
Yes.
Love it, man. Well, cool. I'll give kind of a quick introduction, and then I'm just pumped to talk with you today and learn Upswell's view on things when it comes to how mailers play a role still in kind of our modern age where we think everything's digital, and specifically honing in on what you think are good strategies for businesses, multi-location businesses, how they can be effective with mailers. So I'm excited to kind of dive in on some of that stuff with you. But first, want to introduce you, learn a little bit about, or give you an opportunity to share your background, and also talk a little bit about Upswell and the journey that Upswell's on. So, just by way of introduction, this is Cameron Ritter. He's the senior marketing consultant at Upswell, and Cameron, that means like you're wearing like a bunch of hats all at one time, right? Like you're the trade show
Yeah.
guy who will like write up proposals, do the sales process, but at the same time, you're also supporting those customers post them becoming customers, right? Like after they've signed, you're also continue to consult with them, give advice, talk strategy, and then you're also helping, as I understand it, manage the support team there at Upswell's, right? So do you ever get to even sit down and enjoy your grandma's 500-year-old record player, or you're just busy as all get?
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes it gets busy. I don't manage the whole support team, but I do have someone on my team that helps support, helping all these customers because it becomes, when you get to the 100+ range of trying to manage all these customers yourself, it makes it a little challenging, right? So I have a support person. Her name is Lauren. She's my account manager, and she really helps out a lot, and that sort of thing.
Awesome. And you okay? So that's your background. Tell me a little bit about the how you got to Upswell. So is this like you were just at some career thing and you learned about it? Did you always have a passion for mailers, or like how'd you end up at Upswell?
Yeah, funny enough, I never thought about mailers once until I got this job. But no, I went to college and majored in marketing. But funny enough, it was kind of one of those. I actually went to college to play lacrosse, so it was just one of those things. I was just going. My parents wanted me to go, and I didn't mind going. I actually liked school. I'm one of the weird ones, right? But went and did that whole thing, and got out of school, and it was my graduation year was actually COVID, so
At
didn't
that time?
really graduate. Just didn't get to
Yeah.
walk right, but got out, and my uncle owns a business, so I actually went to work for him because the job market was so hard to get a job. So he's always hiring. His business was economy proof. It's fire and restoration, storm work. So I actually ended up in construction where I thought that I was going to end up for my whole life, and did that for a couple or about a year and a half, and then wasn't really fulfilling for me as much as this job is, right? So just really started looking and seeing what was out there, and one of my family friends was actually works at Upswell, right? And he's one of our executive marketing consultants. And so my grandparents and him were at a family function, right, and got together, and they were like, yeah, he was like, what's up with Cameron? What's he got going on lately? And they said he's actually looking for a job, and he's like, well, I'll give him an interview and see what we can do. And that's how I ended up here, man. It's not always about what you know, it's about who you know, right?
Yeah, totally. So how long have you been at Upswell now for?
This is my 4th year.
Okay, cool. Well, that's awesome. Okay, so 4 years you've been there. Give us the quick background on Upswell. So how long's Upswell been around for? Give us the elevator pitch. This isn't supposed to be kind of a real sales pitch for Upswell, but just for those who don't know, like what do you do? Where's the company been? That would be some helpful insight.
Yeah, absolutely. The company started out with our president, Tim Ross, and his partner, Greg Sands. And they really started the company because they wanted a way to be able to track direct mail and do it the right way. And so that's really kind of what kickstarted it. And Greg Sands, for all those people that don't know, in the automotive world, is a huge name in the automotive world and kind of a legend there. Owned shops all over the country, and so he really figured out a way to do direct mail for himself. And then all of a sudden we became this huge company, and sold I think it was 2018 is when they sold the company to a private equity group. So before my time, right? But they sold to private equity, and then they merged us with another company called Muscle Up, which was a fitness marketing company. So now we're just acquiring, different companies. Like I mentioned, dental. We acquired a dental company, and then now we've acquired Teardale. So we're really just growing fast. Our main start came from the automotive industry through Greg Sands, but now we've really ventured into multiple different industries. Like I just got off the phone with the pest control guy. And we got automotive, dental, fitness, chiro. So we're really pride ourselves on our industry knowledge in a lot of these different industries. HVAC is another one. So just through these acquisitions and these different products that we're starting to offer, digital, Google AdWords, social media ads, prospect emailing has been huge for us recently. We've really grown the company to something that, they might not have thought that they would have back in the day.
Right. So you talk about kind of the beginning of Upswell was really trying to understand how to track mailers, right? And by track, it's like tracking the ROI essentially. Is that right?
Yes, correct.
Right. And so what is that? What is your advice now? I guess if I were a business owner, whether it's automotive or pest control or HVAC business owner, whatever it might be, like how do you talk to me about how I need, if I'm sending out mailers, whether it's through Upswell or whoever, what do I need to be doing to understand the ROI on 1,000 mailers I might send out, next month?
Yeah, there's multiple different ways that you could do that. In a lot of the industries that we work with, we integrate with POS systems, right? So if you're in automotive, that's something like a TechMetric or a Mitchell. If you're in any sort of home service, for the most part, that's going to be Service Titan. And then we have dental ones that we integrate with, right? So, and a lot of companies do. We're just in a lot of other different industries that we have the capabilities to integrate with those POS systems. And what that allows us to do is a couple of things, right? On the front end, we're able to use that integration to really target and hone in on your audience, because if you have your data through that integration, we're able to see where your current customers are coming from and capitalize on that. And also for certain industries, it makes sense to suppress your current customers, right? So every month we're able to upload a suppression file and say, don't mail these people, just mail everyone around them, right? So it's like a lookalike audience. And then also on the back end, what we're able to do with your data is address matching. right? A lot of industries, we also provide call tracking, which you're able to see when someone calls that number specifically from the postcard. But a lot of times you don't capture everything on that. So with the address matching, we're able to say we mailed Gabe, right, this month in this 60-day campaign period, and Gabe came in, visited your location, or you went out and provided an estimate, or sold a service, right? And so we're able to match that back to say, this is what Gabe spent. This is when you went out there. I mean, we'll identify what kind of customer Gabe is, right? So is it a new customer, a repeat customer, a win back, someone that hasn't used you in 12 months, or is it one of your loyal customers? And so we break all that out for you, and it really shows, what the spend is, the cost per acquisition, your rate of return, your response rate on your direct mail. That's really when we talk about tracking, what we're getting into, because we want to make sure that, and obviously your customers do too, right? Make sure that they're getting ROI on any type of marketing they're doing. So we just found a really cool way to make it super trackable, that there's no guesswork.
Yeah. And am I, as a business owner using Upswell, am I able to log in and see these analytics, like on my latest
Absolutely.
campaign that I sent out? Oh, okay. Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And even if you don't integrate with Upswell or whatever company that you choose to use, right? If you don't integrate, you're able to actually send us your data, and we can import it into our system manually. And so that way you still have that same tracking capability.
Gotcha. Oh, cool. That's awesome. So let's take a step back then from, obviously, kind of what the way that you view tracking and how valuable that is. Take a step back, thinking more broad. Right now, we're in this like crazed AI stage of the world, and all businesses are rushing to figure out how to take advantage of AI. I mean, I could imagine that occasionally you're talking to somebody who's going, like, isn't email and text all I need, or a digital ad that I'm putting on to TikTok or Meta or Facebook.
Right.
What role do you see mailers playing kind of in this digital heavy world that we're living in?
Yeah, so I think there's actually two parts to that. So mailers themselves, that they're not really going away. They've worked historically. They're going to keep working for businesses that are using them, right? But and the reasons is that they're trackable, right? A lot of your digital stuff is trackable, but a lot of it you can't get down to the nitty gritty, like the addresses, and I'm not biased, right? We sell digital products, so but with the mailers, you're able to do a lot of different cool stuff on the trackable side. And you're also you're able to get really targeted too, right? So just like your social media ads, we can target, based on, demographics, number one, income, credit scores, ailments, an auto, we can track, or we can target based on, what type of make, model, year ranges. So, it's still a very targeted way to reach out to your prospects or your potential leads, right? And the digital world, while you can't really go without being on Google Ads, right? It'd make it hard for your business to grow digital. It's a very saturated market. You have a lot of competition in the digital space, whereas that's where a lot of people are saying that mailers are coming back, because they're so saturated. My opinion is mailers never went away, but I'm also biased a little bit on that. But they are picking up on response rate and proving to be still a great source of driving revenue. And then I think on the other side of that, a lot of things that we're able to do that a lot of digital companies are also able to do is also things with AI, right? For example, we had a company that had multiple locations, multiple states, and multiple graphics, right? A lot of different things per location. And so we're able to use AI to actually figure out, where we take their database and we figure out what their spenders are doing, their top spenders or anyone in their database, and we are able to categorize them into these different families, right? It might be, I forget the things that we label them. They're like silly names, but like something suburban family, right? And rural family. And so we're able to see where those families are kind of stack ranked in your database. And so we're able to target those personas specifically. And we're also able to do variable stuff. So we're able to put on different promo codes. So if you have different demographics, we're able to send offers to, the families that we found using AI. We're able to send maybe a $25 off coupon to those families specifically and a $50 off coupon to the families that might be a little bit more price conscious, right?
Gotcha.
So it's kind of a mixed bag in the way that we're able to do stuff.
So what I'm getting from this is that even in what might be viewed as a old school industry or old school marketing channel, AI is still sneaking in here. And Upswell,
absolutely.
Upswell specifically is taking advantage of this in helping make it all the more efficient, all the more targeted. Yeah, and you're certainly speaking my language when it comes to data and tracking, and that's all stuff that we focus on as well, and like having variable data to make it more customized. Love it. So if I was a business owner, because one thing that I think we have a lot of overlap in our customer profiles of the people that we serve, the businesses that we talk to. A lot of them are multi-location. A lot of them are franchises. A lot of them are kind of growing empires. If I was a HVAC owner, business owner, and I was opening up a new office, on the other side of the county or something like that, what strategies would you suggest when I'm looking at my marketing ammo, so to speak, and I'm looking at my mailers specifically? Like, what would you advise me? Like, hey, here's what you need to do with your mailing campaign now that you're about to move, and let's call it, in 3 months to your new location, or you're about to open up your new location in 3 months. Like, walk me through like what you would advise me on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Opening new locations and new markets where there's competition already there is always a challenge. But one thing to help alleviate that challenge is getting super aggressive in all of your marketing, right? Mailer specifically, we're going to recommend that you mail what we call full market potential, right? So for an HVAC operation, we're going to say, you need to be mailing obviously single family homes that are maybe a little bit older in age, right? So we can get a little bit more targeted on the home's age, and letting them know you're there and going after, service contracts. You really need service contracts to build that business, because that's, those are the people that are going to call you when their system goes wrong, right? Something goes wrong with their system. We'll also put on, the co-op stuff. We work with the co-op. So if you work with specific brands, we're going to tell you to put that on there for a new system if people need new systems. But the main thing is really, I would say, just get super aggressive in that new area demographic and target your full market potential super as aggressive as you can be, and really blow that thing up, right? Because the last thing that they need is trucks just sitting in the lot, right? Paying guys hourly just to sit there. And then on the flip side of that, when we talk about full market potential, one of the big things in the service industry, services, the whole array of them, right? HVAC, pest control, everything is glass time, right? You want to cut out glass time. So when we say full market potential, we're talking about specific hot spots that are around that location that we can keep the glass time down, so that you're not paying for your techs to be driving around willy-nilly all over the place. So we're going to get targeted in the zones that we're mailing to, so that you don't have a lot of glass time and you're going from this neighborhood to the neighborhood across the street, right? Which helps with profitability for the company or for the business.
Yeah, that's interesting. So how often, just because you're talking about kind of different profiles that you would be able to help me target, whether it's I want to go after suburbanites who are, upper middle class who have, XYZ demographic subcategory. Do you ever help with mailers to like that are more like B2B? Like, so if I'm a pest control company and I can service residential, but I can also service businesses like, I don't know, warehouses, an actual like business space, like an office. Do you have the ability to help me as a business owner target other businesses as well, or is it just
Yeah.
yeah? Is there
Yeah,
different
absolutely.
strategy there though too? Like if I want to go after businesses.
Yeah, there can be, right? Just to give you some examples, generally when we mail to businesses, we'll use more of a letter instead of a postcard,
Oh, okay.
because it's addressing on an envelope to the business owner or whoever we get that is on that list, right?
Right.
Um, so we're able to mail them a letter that says, come, if you're a pest control company, do you have pest control? Try our services. Here's an offer to get started with us. So yeah, we definitely have some experience in mailing for B2B as well.
Awesome. Very cool. So when it comes to, again, let's take the example that I'm a business owner in one of the shared industries that we serve, which would be, pest control. So, and I've always done like one category of service, like one subcategory of pest control. I've only ever done termite. I've never done like general pest or rodent, let's say, or something like that. Is there any success stories that you have around maybe marketing to my existing customer base with mailers to talk
Yeah.
about essentially an upsell or a cross sell on an additional service?
Oh yeah. Definitely something that we run into frequently, is mailing your current customer database, with different things. Like if you're a pest control and you got them on a subscription, right? But you also have other services, what we would call your one-offs, right? Outside
Right.
of those, definitely mailing those to your database is going to help sell those, right? Um, I will put a disclaimer. That's going to be alongside, the typical things that you would do, like your texting, emailing, outbound calling your current customers. It's just another mode of you doing that same thing, to assist in selling those services, right?
Gotcha. So you talked about before how when you are potentially mailing stuff to a business versus a residential account, that you might use an actual letter and not like a mailer, like a 6x11 or whatever. So
Right.
what are some other categories of stuff that somebody should have in their, I'll call it like their mail stack, my my Batman utility belt of mailers. Like what else should I be using beyond a 6x11, beyond a trifold, actual letter that I'm sending out, and what are the different use cases for those, I guess?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a ton of different mailing products that you can use. For example, we do a lot of newsletters for automotive shops, right? And
Uh,
they sometimes will have offers on them, sometimes they won't. But it's just basically, one that I'm thinking of that I work with is just about what's going on in the community, right? It's obviously branded with their auto shop, but it's also a newsletter, and they'll actually put recipes on it. Like she'll do like fun little recipes for the season, like a pumpkin pie, right, in October or something like that. So that's one use you could use to reach out to your current customers, and maybe do like a dollar off coupon on that. There's also we do rebate checks. So we also do those, primarily in automotive, but other businesses can use them as well, where it looks like a fake check, right? And it says on there, this is not a real check, but bring it into ABC Automotive to redeem your $40, on your service, on your next service, right? So we usually send those out around tax time. So that's one creative way that you can get with those really they're 8.5 by 11. It's a sheet of paper in an envelope that we send out. And then we also have the plastic ones, right, that you should add, to mail to your current customers. You can use them for acquisition, but generally those are going to be a little bit more expensive. So we use those for current customer outreach. But we'll put like a $25 off on your service. You can use them for lost customers, right? So if you're a pest control and you lost a customer, maybe you send them a plastic gift card in the next few months that has a, come back for, a free service, right?
Right.
Something along those lines to try to win somebody back. So we have different ways to use different products really throughout the year.
Cool. So what I'm getting is that the plastic mailer obviously more expensive, but there's it has a very, from what I'm hearing from you, a really specific use case where it's like, I want to give somebody a more ornate experience. I want to make them, this is somebody I care about because it's an existing customer. Maybe it's a lost customer. That's really, really cool. Well,
Yeah.
this is, man, the time's flying by, Cameron, but let me maybe ask just one last kind of bring it all together question. So if you were to have one piece of advice when it comes to prospect marketing for a multi-location business, like I've got 3 different pest control branches and I have never done any mailing before to any prospects. Like what's your reason for why I should do it? And then maybe what's your reason for why I should do it with Upswell? And then maybe to close it out, like why, like what could I expect to see happen with my business?
Yeah, absolutely. So why you should do it is because it's likely that your competition is already doing it. And so you need to stay in front of your competition, right? Your competition is mailing a lot of times your customer database, trying to incentivize them to move over to them, right? All the time in any of their marketing, right? That goes for your digital services as well. It's also just good practice for your business to send mailers, right? It's something that you can track an ROI on, very easily, right? It's just either integrating with us or sending us your database for us to do a matchback report. So it's very easy to track the ROI on it. And it's very rare cases that direct mail is not going to work for a specific business, right? A lot of times that's if you have like a lower, I guess you could call it like a $25 sale, right? It might not benefit you, right? But when we're talking about pest control, we're talking about $600-700 a year for customers.
Yeah.
And then you're talking about automotive, it's $600-800 a visit.
Right.
So the why you should do it is it's going to help your business grow. If you're looking for your business to grow, it's the same thing as having a website, right? You don't take your website down. You don't take your Google ads down. You don't take your social media down. You use them all. Direct mail is the same way. It's another avenue for people to find you, right? And provide them with good offers that incentivize them to use your company. And I guess to your other question, why Upswell, is we like to think we have the best way to track all this for you. You could go to a print house and get stuff printed on your own, but here's what you'll miss out on, right? Is you're going to miss out on industry expertise that we have in working with all these different companies all over the country, that we've just the Rolodex of information that we're able to sift through and bring to you. I'll go back to the tracking, right? Our ROI, our ROAS tool is able to show you real-time results that you're going to be able to say, okay, how are my mailers working? And if they're not working to our standards, what do we need to do to optimize these campaigns to get the type of return that we want within the customer's expectations, right? We have a lot of different things that I think are great about us. I think it really a lot of times comes down to who you're working with, and can you trust that person, right? And all of our marketing consultants are really good. We all, help each other. We're all really a team. It's not one of those sales organizations where it's like dog eat dog. It's
Right.
we all want to help each other and help each other grow, and so we share these success stories that we're having, and we share different things that are going on in the industry to help all of our customers be better. So not only are you getting all the tools that we have, you're also getting, us, right?
Totally. Yeah. Well, I can say from my experience, I know that we have some shared customers, and they've always talked very highly or spoken very highly of Upswell and the customer service side of stuff. So, hey, it's been awesome chatting with you, Cameron. Appreciate you taking the time. Um, where are you heading to next? I know you're always at a trade show. Is there anything upcoming here in the next couple of weeks where people might see you?
Yeah, I'll be headed to Tennessee on Sunday for a shop fix conference. So I'll be up there along with a couple other of my coworkers. So we'll be there. And then after that, I think I'm actually free for a couple of months.
All right, it might be the only couple months of the whole year. So
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
Well, appreciate it, man. Appreciate your time coming on and
yeah,
sharing your wealth of knowledge and experience in this ever changing field that's been around forever, but still is valuable and still is effective. So appreciate it.
yeah.
We'll be talking to you soon, brother.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Gabe.
Yeah, we'll check you later. Bye.
See you.
Okay, I'll just stop the recording.